And
And
we
we
are
are
live.
live.
Welcome to the Heart and Hope Medicines podcast. This is episode 21.
21, 21, 21.
21, bro.
Who we got today?
Who you got, bro?
Off top, we got two Hall of Famers, man. We got Kevin Garnett. We got Tim Duncan. That's all that we need to say for real.
Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan.
Yes, sir. You already know. Please don't have no,
I
don't
don't
have no.
really
You don't
never
rock with
been.
them?
I like. Well, I didn't like Kevin Garnett because
Whoa.
he was like Boston, and I didn't really rock with Boston because they was going against the Cleveland Cavaliers and stuff like that, going against and then
Oh,
Miami
right.
Heat and stuff like that. So and they used
LeBron.
to talk a lot of
LeBron.
trash and everything like that. So I didn't really like them like that.
Yeah.
And then I didn't like Tim Duncan for real because
Yeah,
he
it
was
was
just
boring, huh?
yeah.
Man,
But I got one for you, Ladainian Thompson. I go
okay.
football.
Oh, you okay? Football reference. Okay, I got you.
And
I
then
like
what?
that.
Can we go? Ain't Bob Sanders 21 too? Or
He was 20. I think he
20? He
was
might have
20.
been 23. 20. Yeah, let me.
But we can go Sean Taylor though.
Oh,
Sean
okay.
Taylor,
Oh,
21.
oh, that's a big one. Oh yeah, let's go
Sean
Sean
Taylor,
Taylor.
21. Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
All right, but let's get straight to it. Before I hold on, let me see what Bob Sanders is.
Oh, I forgot a big one too. Joel
Who
Embiid,
who?
21.
See, Bob Sanders was 21, bro. I know what I'm talking about, bro.
Okay, okay. You
Yeah.
got that one. You got that one.
But all right, let's get straight to it. The topic of today is protect what's next.
Protect what's next.
All right. So, we're going to be talking about abortion. And
Heavy,
this is
heavy.
a huge topic. Um we had to do a little studying, find some scriptures and just make sure that we aren't giving you what we think but giving you what God thinks,
Yeah,
cuz it's not really about our opinion, it's more so about God's opinion. And we are ambassadors for the God, so we got to, say what God want us to say and not what
facts.
we want to say. So um this topic, we knew it was going to be a little
Touchy.
sticky, a little,
A
a
little
little
touchy.
sensitive, whatever like that. But it's not for us Christians to run from it. And I feel like it's it's more so for us to talk about it.
Yeah.
Us as Christians need to talk about things like this for sure. We have to talk about things like this. And then you get, women that think men don't have a place in talking about this. Whatever, I disagree with that. You
That's
know. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, so how do you? All right, let's go this. Um, what is God's view on abortion?
he doesn't. God is in direct rebuttal against abortion. God tells us to be fruitful and multiply. He speaks about how children are blessings to us. There is no way that he would be in support of abortion. God is pro life, always. Always. Like, people can speak harshly or try to speak harshly about the Old Testament or how God was back then as it relates to being pro life, but God wasn't just taking haphazardly taking lives, that God was anytime a life was taken, it was in as a result of direct disobedience and nothing more. So
Yeah, and then back then it was the law, so it wasn't. Right now we have Jesus who continues to intercede for us and who paid the price for our sins. So God is still the same God, but now Jesus has came and shed his blood for us, so
yeah.
he covers us.
he
He
gives
covers us.
all he gives all the disobedient people a chance to be disobedient and still have a life.
Man,
That's what he
man,
do.
he literally, that grace and mercy it is there. It is there, and
Mm-hmm.
I just thank God for it, because if we had to follow the law, we would be cooked. Preston Perry
You
said
just
something today. He was like, it wasn't that the law was bad. It was just that men were bad. Like we couldn't
yeah,
follow the law. There was nothing wrong with the law. It was just that we couldn't follow it. So we needed help. You know,
facts.
so yeah. So yeah, God is totally against abortion. Um he's totally against it. He said be fruitful and multiply. If he was like that was in direct conflict with the word of God. It's like, okay, how can you be fruitful and multiply if you are taking a life? Because
Yeah,
that's what it is. People like to sugarcoat it. It was just a fetus. That's a life. That's a life. You know, that has a heartbeat. Is moving. As
right,
you continue to feed it, it's gonna keep growing. It's a baby.
right.
And I thought this was the perfect time to talk about this because, you know, I'm
Life that,
expecting,
yeah.
and I don't know if you did you share it out yet?
Everybody know pretty much, but we expect it too. We got our first appointment tomorrow, but it's gonna be way past tomorrow by the time this airs. But first appointment tomorrow. Find
So
out I'm having a boy.
yeah,
I'm having
facts.
a boy. There's no more
Facts.
estrogen.
We're speaking it. We speaking into existence. My boy need another boy. You feel me?
Facts.
Um, and then we just had our girls last year. So Mia just turned one, right?
Yeah.
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 And
Junior.
yep. And Jenny is like one and a half. So we just had babies and now we're expecting more. So it's like this was like I'm like, nah. Because I had to think now, I'm like, we can both look at our wife's stomach and know that there's something in there. Like
Facts.
we don't have to sit there and have an ultrasound to know that it's something in there. We see the
Right.
belly, we can feel kicks, when we get
Hmm.
to a certain point, you can feel kicks and everything like that, which shows that it's life inside of there, you
Facts.
know, and who are we to be like, nah,
And it's
nah.
it's ironic for me right now because the facts. Well, the facts say that at 13 weeks is when babies start to feel and actually become alive. Ironically, my wife is 13 weeks. So
Mm,
that would be like me taking my wife to the abortion clinic right now and aborting the baby.
mm,
Even though I know full well that there's a baby growing in there. Oh, the baby can't feel anything, but
mm.
God placed value on us before we even came to be because He says, um, before you were formed in the womb, I knew you,"
Yeah,
which means that before before your daddy went up in your mama and did his thing, he knew you. He
yeah,
placed value on you. He called you something beautiful.
yeah,
So who are we as people to just come in and say, "Oh, I messed up. Let me strike this from the record"?
yeah,
No, you don't have the ability to. You don't have the authority to do that.
yeah,
Like I think people take for granted what our children really are. Like there are so many days like where I come home from work and I'm tired and I just don't feel like I could take another step. And I walk in and I can hear my baby yelling, "Babe, babe, babe," because that's what she called me because that's what my wife calls me.
mm-hmm.
Babe, as soon as she hear the door open, "Babe, babe, babe." And I
Yeah,
just smile immediately. Like it
uh-huh.
just brings so much joy to my heart to know that there's somebody, first of all, that there's somebody who loves me despite no matter what mistake I could ever make, they always gonna love me. Like
Yeah,
and that I'm somebody's superhero. Like that is so beautiful to me. Like
yeah,
that I can be a real live and in person superhero, not some cartoon on the TV, but somebody that's tangible and can be touched. Like that's crazy to me, man.
yeah.
The idea that somebody would take that life, it's insane to me.
Man, yeah, cause I know exactly how you feel when you say it. She like, babe, babe. Yeah, Genesis repeat my wife all the time. So she like, hey baby, or something like that. She they like dada, dada, daddy, dada.
Yeah,
You know, she's just so funny, and I couldn't imagine life without her. You know,
facts.
because she changed my life. Like she changed the way I see. You know, she was that. She brought more. She brought that man out of me.
Hmm.
That kingdom man out of me, and things like that. So I couldn't imagine, that not having that.
Yeah.
And I know, and this is what people like to choose abortion because of it not being perfect circumstances.
Yes.
It not being what they call perfect. Like, oh yeah, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this, whatever like that. But Jesus, Jesus didn't come in a perfect circumstance. Jesus came in the opposite. Jesus was born in a major. Jesus, so for all, let's put it in modern day terms, Jesus was born in filth. Jesus
Facts.
was born poor. Jesus, like, he didn't have much. Like, it wasn't no, oh yeah, he was born in Beaumont Hospital, and yeah, and he got, you're like, he didn't go to no mansion. Like, the fact that he could have, but he didn't. Why do you think Jesus came the way that he came? What was why? So he could take away excuses that y'all got. Ain't no
Facts.
excuses, like, it it was not a perfect circumstance, and we can't choose to be like, nah, this ain't it because I ain't got this. I ain't got
Right.
that. I ain't. No, that's when you rely on God. If God allow for that baby to come into being, then God will provide for the baby. You
Facts.
know, it's
Facts.
about you lining up. You allowing for God to do what he gonna do. Don't
Yeah.
take it into your own hands and be like, nah, because this baby gonna stress me out. You didn't think about that when you was laid up. You want to think
Man.
about none of that.
In
And then
fact, in fact, you use it as a stress relief. That's the crazy part about it to me. A lot of people look at having those type of sexual interactions with other people as some type of some form of relief or release, but you don't even realize the consequences of your action. Like you lay down, you're gonna come up with something, whether it be a disease or a baby. You gonna come back with something. Like if you don't take the proper precautions. So people are just they selfish, man. Like and if God, it's what's wild to me is like in Psalm 127, chapter 127, verse 3, it says, children are a gift from the Lord. They are a reward from him. Children born to a young man are like arrows in a warrior's hand. How joyful is the man whose quiver is full of them. He will not be put to shame when he confronts his accusers at the gate. Like, to me, that just speaks volumes about how God sees our children, how God sees reproduction. And the real problem is we don't see children as a gift. We see children as curses.
mhm,
Because now I have somebody besides myself to provide for.
yeah,
Now I can't only think about myself when I make decisions. Now my money has to go elsewhere as opposed to just going to the mall or going to the movies or me just being able to get up and go on trips or do whatever like I'm used to doing. Now I have some level of responsibility. And that's a lot of times that's what people are running from, the responsibility of parenting. But it's a blessing to even have the responsibility. There
yeah,
are so many of us who grew up fatherless, some people motherless, some people with none of their biological family around at all because they were um, given up into the foster system, the fostering system. So when you think about that, when you think about how impactful it is to actually be a parent, your mindset about it should begin to change. But
yeah,
because you're not thinking about it from that perspective, you're just thinking of, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, I got to do that, and you're trying to make everything perfect. That's that contributes to why you decide people decide to, you know, kill these babies. Like it's just wild. It's wild to me, man.
Yeah, it's definitely just wild. And like you said, it is selfish. It's definitely a selfish decision. Whether you wanna call it is a selfish decision. You know, you choosing what you wanna do over, what's to come,
Mm-hmm.
I get another scripture to you. Psalms 139, 13 through 16. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you. When I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depth of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body. On all days were ordained for me and were written in the book before one of them came to be. So that tells you right there, God knows. Like when that baby is forming, God has already ordained his days. God has
Facts.
already God has already sent a plan in motion. God has like, all right, this is the plan for this baby. But you like, nah, I want nah because of this. You choosing to not allow for this plan to come to pass, because of something that you did,
Right.
so it literally like saying like for some people who think a baby was a mistake, like maybe a mistake to you but never a mistake to God. God
Facts.
don't make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
God's like, all right, even though that may not have happened in the way that I may have wanted it to happen,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm still blessing that baby. I'm
Right.
still allowing for that baby days to be ordained, for that baby to do this, for that baby to do that. Imagine
Right.
how many impactful babies then got killed, like babies who were literally going to change the world, like were
Yeah.
literally like chain breakers, for chain breakers for they own lineage,
Facts.
but you chose to abort it. Now that chain can't be broken. Now you
Yeah.
just caused more of a curse to be on your lineage,
Right.
so just knowing like God has already ordained that baby days before that baby even come out, before that baby even is, birthed out. The days are ordained. It's already in motion. Don't
Yeah.
stop the motion.
Mm-hmm.
Allow for it to come to pass.
Yeah.
Trust God.
Mm-hmm.
Trust God. We need these babies. They
Facts.
are the next. They are the next generation. We ain't living forever. We got a certain amount of time, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's the So we need
Facts.
to we need to have something to pass along. We need to have a legacy to bring
Yeah.
forth.
Someone to pass it on to. That's facts, man. Like just sitting here thinking about it. Like even going back to Psalms 127, and then how it talks about they will be at the gate with you. Children are people who, when they grow up and they're strong enough, they'll be there to fight with you. Like you know how many parents and moms and dads are encouraged by their children. Like I just said, when I walk in the door and I'm tired, my daughter, like her smile, her her character already, her excitement to see me, it just gives me so much strength. That's what a lot of children are to parents, even to this day. Like how many times, like even in my adulthood, my mom still sees me as her child,
Yeah,
and I still inspire her to keep going and to move on, and all her kids do inspire her to keep going and to move on because she dealt with a whole lot. But a part of her dealing with a whole lot and being able to come through and overcome, aside from her faith in God, was recognizing that she still has something to live for in her children.
yeah,
Like children are, they give your life a little bit more. They give your life more purpose, and
man,
they help to
facts,
carry on your legacy, your lineage. Like
man,
you want to die? Do you want to die and then you not have a child who remembers you, who loves you, and who carries on some of the same traditions that you had growing up. Even something as simple as, oh, my mama made banana pudding this way, or my mama made steak or ham this way. Like it's just little stuff like that that needs to carry on, and that's just like the natural side of it. But on the spirit, from a spiritual perspective, there are torches that have to be passed on to the next generation
Yeah.
to ensure that God's will continues to be done in the lives of your family and your family members. But people don't look, we don't think that far. We're so short sighted about everything, man. I feel like I say that every podcast. But we are really short sighted as people because we're just thinking about the next 2 minutes or the next 2 days or 2 weeks when God is trying to get you to think about the next 20 years. Not from a
Yeah.
perspective of worrying, but just recognizing what could be if you stay on the path that He has set you on. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely that's short being short sighted is definitely can definitely mess with you. Like will definitely have you making permanent decisions on temporary things. Like when
yeah,
it's like your circumstances temporarily. Like you can do stuff to get out of your circumstances, but don't make a permanent decision based on your circumstances. Like you don't know what can change tomorrow. So don't just be like, yeah, I'm gonna choose this. Like, and then you be in regret, because you chose to make a permanent decision. And I just want to, we don't come on this podcast to beat you up. There may be some people who have had abortions, and um, my job ain't to beat you up, but I will say what the word says, and if you feel some conviction, that's what it's gonna be. But I want to tell you that God still loves you,
facts.
and it's not, and you can do better. Like you can do better if
Absolutely.
God allows for you to have another baby, choose to keep it. Choose to
Yeah,
keep it. Don't base it off your circumstances. Do what you got to do. That life did not ask to be here, whatever like that. You made you got with who you got with, and then the baby came. So it's it's not on you. It's not. I mean, it's not on them. It's on you now. You take care of the baby. You take care of the responsibility
yeah,
and things like that because there are people who would kill to be in your place. There are people who can't have babies,
facts,
and they like, "What are you doing? Do you
facts,
know how much I want to have a baby?
facts,
Like it's and it's a difference from I won't say like even though you can you try to make it like all right, for instance, a baby that comes directly from you is a little different than a baby that doesn't come directly from you. Like not saying that you can love that baby as much as you want, and you should love that baby as much as you want, but it's somewhat of a different connection because this baby is literally from
it's
you.
a piece of
Like
you. Absolutely.
it's literally a piece. For instance, my dad, like I met my dad when I was 20. Like my dad left when I was little, and I ended up meeting him, like reaching out to him when I was in my 20s and stuff like that. So with the first time I met him, when I was older, I felt the connection,
Yeah,
and that it's like okay, so that connection. You can't falsify this connection. Like it's
facts.
a legit connection because I'm from him. That's I'm his
Right.
seed. So it's like I can't.
It's a level
It's
of understanding that he comes naturally equipped with because he probably did some of the same things that you going through right now.
Yeah. And it was just like, even though we didn't spend that much time together, I felt the connection. So there's people who want that connection, that literally I want a kid that comes directly from me. I want, someone with my DNA and things like
Yeah,
that, somebody that I can just give them my name. And, it's real big for us men to have boys. I think what's big about it is, I mean, just being able to raise a boy. us being men and being able to raise a boy, and then also that name, that it continues the name. Once you have a daughter, your daughter eventually get married, and that name most likely get moved, it get replaced and things like that. But when you have a son, that name continues and things like that. So there's men who want to have sons, want to have daughters and things like that, and just they would like don't take it for granted. If God allows for you to have a baby, do not take it for granted. Do not
Facts.
take the time for granted.
Right. So, okay, I got a question. What are your thoughts? Like, I watched because we watched the same video about the death of the black church.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on? We're not gonna say people's names, but people saying things like in ministry. These are well-known people in ministry who are saying things like, um, "You don't see people lined up at the abortion clinic. I mean, at the vasectomy clinic, protesting in defense of the people who are pro-abortion, or um, referring to people's past sins in defense of the stance of pro-abortion, basically telling people to leave the people who are pro-abortion alone, and that he specifically doesn't agree with the Roe versus Wade ruling.
Um, I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way because I'm like, how can you read this word? How can you really have an understanding of God and don't understand how important babies are? Like God literally hold babies very high. The children, God, like you do something to the children, God, God don't play about his children. You're like
Facts.
so, like I just be like, how could you be like, yeah, it's okay to do that? How do you feel like what does your like are you really reading your word? Like where does it say, and that be the problem because people are basing off their opinion, your opinion. This is my opinion on this. Then they say it's the scripture. No, it's not the scripture. That
Point
like
me in
what?
the direction of that scripture. Where is that? Where
Like
is
what?
it?
Lean not on your own understanding. That goes in direct line right against what you talking about. You leaning on your own understanding, trying to get somebody wisdom, trying to tell them no. And then they kind of deflect and go to different other things. Well, um, y'all didn't try to what about them black killings? Like, bruh, we talking about abortion right now. That's a black killing. That's a baby killing right there. That's what we talking about. You trying to go to deflect and go everywhere else. No, we talking about this right now. This is
Right.
what's at the hand right now. That's what we talking about. Now y'all trying to, oh yeah, well, if we do this, then we got to do that. No, we're talking about this right now. It's about the
Mhm.
baby. It's about the lives that can't be that other people that basically that are in direct threat. A
Bro,
baby can't like what a baby in the womb like, hey, bag up, dog. Like
right,
bag up, get
right.
off me, don't do whatever like that. Because the baby can't do anything. The baby
This dude said if you are in agreement with the overturning, you do not care about Black Lives Matter. You don't care about Black lives.
hmm,
And I'm just sitting there, and then he's like, "This is a blatant attack on the black woman." And I'm like, "This is not an attack. If anything, it's a call to responsibility.
right.
It's a call to responsibility, and people just don't want to be responsible. Like, from a natural perspective, if you don't want a baby, stop sleeping with people.
Come on.
Stop sleeping with people. Like, or even if you do sleep with somebody, which I'm not advising you to do that at all, but if you do, protect yourself. Put on a condom, something.
Mm,
Like, stop killing these kids.
yeah.
They're alive. Whether you want to realize it or not, they are alive. They can feel. Literally, when we went to the Creation Museum, they had the entire um, life cycle of a child, from the time that they are the smallest to when they just keep developing over the months, over development period while they're in the mother, still inside their mothers, and they tell you everything that is going on with the children at the time. And I'm telling you, there's no way that you can sit up and say that these children are not alive. They may not exhibit your definition of alive has to be it's distorted. It's distorted just seeing everything that the child experiences from the time that they're small up until delivery. It was amazing to me to even look at it, which it just it made me feel even more strongly about how people are handling this situation, like how people are just flat out like, no, we want to kill these kids. We want to keep killing kids. Or how there's abortion clinics everywhere, like everywhere. I can remember being in high school. I went to summer school after freshman year, and I'm walking through Dearborn to get to the bus stop. And there's an abortion clinic that my bus stop would just so happen to be in front of. And there was a man out there every single day protesting abortion. He was minding his own business. You know how many times people tried to beat him up? Like literally, this black couple came in there. The boyfriend was like trying to swing on dude, and then he got in his car and he saw the dude and he tried to run him over. Like it was that deep. Like, but it all comes down to you have to be responsible. Be responsible for your actions. If you impregnate somebody, take care of your baby.
Facts.
Don't take care of your baby. Don't kill your baby. Like it's just as simple as that. And us as a people, we have a hard time owning up to the things that we do, which is why we are in the position that we're in right now. Like we always trying to point the blame at somebody else. Like
Yeah.
this is the reason why I did this. This is the reason why I did that. In some situations, there may be some validity to it, but at the same time, validity aside, you still have to take responsibility for what you did as a result of whatever what for as a result of whatever you were going through. You still have to take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
And we as people, we have a hard time taking responsibility for the things that we do.
Yeah.
So
And then I know men, certain men that or know of men who try to force abortion on whoever they're with.
yeah,
Yeah, like not that like it's ultimately the choice of the woman, like, but as far as like they will choose whether, you know, because it's them who have to go through the procedure and things like that. But there be manipulation with men and stuff like that, kind of.
absolutely.
I'm not gonna be there. I'm not gonna do this for the kid. Whatever. I didn't plan on whatever like that. You should just get rid of it. Like I don't really whatever like that. Man up, bro. I don't like man up. Like that junk is weak. Like it
Yeah,
to be completely honest with you, that junk is weak. Like, and I ain't go sugarcoat it. That junk trash.
yeah.
Like take care of your responsibilities. You was laid up with old girl and it happened. Now you take care of your responsibilities. Ain't no, oh, I didn't want to have no baby with her. Well, you should have, wrapped up and did what you
Facts.
needed to do. Like instead
What
of
you really needed to do was stay
not
out of the
do
pants in the
right,
first place.
right. You shouldn't have been trying to, you do whatever
But
So
ain't nobody trying to hear
don't
that.
don't try to like that. That don't sit well with me. Don't be no
Mm-hmm.
coward now. Don't take
Facts.
like you was all big and mighty when you was doing what you was doing. Now when that responsibility hit, you trying to run. Nah,
Right.
don't run. Take care of your responsibilities.
Yeah.
And also with that, if like I would rather somebody um put their kid up for adoption than to kill it. Like
Absolutely.
if I'm being and don't get me wrong, that system all messed up. We need to redo that
Screwed
whole
up.
system. That
100%
like
screwed up.
ain't no reason why to adopt a baby is so much. Like it's no reason why it's that much. Like this,
Facts.
this ain't about no kid. This about money. This ain't got nothing to do with no kid. Why are you charging that much for somebody to adopt a baby? You know, to put somebody to take care of a baby. Why do they
Right.
have to go through loops, this loop, that loop, this loop, that loop to try to get a baby? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why are y'all making it so hard? That's how you know the enemy is at work. The enemy is
Facts.
at work in that system. You know, so it's up to us. This is why we have to stand here and speak what the word says. This is why we have to break change. This is why we gotta take care of our sons and daughters. This is why we have to show people that being a dad is important. Being a
Yeah.
mother is important. This we are needed. We are needed. Them baby come to you and just hold your leg whenever they feel scared or feel like some type of strength. They hold on to you. If you're
Mm-hmm.
not there for them to hold on to, then what what they gonna do? You know, so I would say for men, you are important. You know, there's some people who have chose to believe the enemy's lie. Like that you being in that life don't matter. Like it does matter. It's very important. It's very important for someone to see their dad. It was a kid that was I think it was like a graduation. It was a little kid and he was like walking and everything like that and he didn't see his parents, so he was like looking down and stuff like that, and he really wasn't into it because he didn't see his parents there. He didn't see the support. But then he looked up and he spotted his mom and he just started like he was like yeah, like it's it's that right there. It's that right there. Like kids want to feel support. There's
Yeah.
grown men who want to feel support. Me, I like to feel support. Like
Yeah.
what are we talking about? Like so imagine a little kid. They want to know that you're there. You know, so your life do matter. Um no matter how much you think, oh yeah, I'm not good and I'm not what you can get better. You know, you can allow for God to work on you and get you to the position where, you know, you can do what you're supposed to do. And you ain't ain't no cop outs. This I'm not giving you a cop out. Do what you gotta do, handle your business. Whatever you gotta do, do it. You
Yeah.
know. But
That's a fact, man. Like, and then even from the you mentioned it earlier, like where some women say that men don't have a say so, and these are for the men who actually do want to have babies. Some men don't have a say so on whether mom aborts the child or not. Like, how can that be? Because how can you take my say so away? Where when if the child is born, you're gonna want me to be in full support of the baby. You're gonna want me to be there financially. You're gonna want me to be there emotionally. So why is my opinion not valid now? Why does it mean nothing now? And it's not fair to say that to men in general, because that in essence can cause somebody to say, well, I just ain't gonna be there. If the child's life at this present moment doesn't, I don't hold any my opinion, hold my thoughts, my views or opinions don't have any value at this moment, then why should they ever have any value? Like, people go that way. People's minds go to those extremes. So we really have to be careful. Like, women have to be careful about how they speak to men prior to, because once you decide that you do want to have that baby, now he has to be there for that baby.
mhm.
And a part of you protecting the next is making sure that he knows that he is valued as it relates to that child and as it relates to that relationship.
That's it, bro. That's
Because
it.
if you don't, that's how you breed fathers who walk away.
Yeah.
That's how you breed them. Because whether people realize it or not, men are very self conscious. We
Yeah.
worry about a lot of things. We may not act on a lot of the things that we feel or the things that we think, but we worry about a lot of things. And being a good parent is one of them.
Yeah.
As a man, I'm not talking about somebody who don't care about nothing. Now I'm talking about a man who wants to be in a child's life. Men care about being good fathers
Yeah.
and cultivating an environment where it's okay for us to be good fathers, or what we say about as it relates to our children matter to the child and the mother. Cultivating those type of environments are important to our development as fathers and as parents. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got a great point, bro. That's like a great point. It's really important what the mother says to the father during them during them stages, you know. Um, cause y'all both gonna have y'all little um have frustration have little moments that frustrate y'all and things like that. But it's real
right.
important what you say because your words, it's something that a woman words does to a man that it's just like it does something, whatever like that. It's like so important. Just even if you think about, you know, when a mother raising up a man, like it's
Hmm.
really important the words that she chooses to use, you know,
Right.
because she's literally shaping him in a
Yeah.
sense, you know, she's shaping him how he thinks and things like that. So it's really important. So even when you um let's say you married or anything like that, it's real important what the wife says to the man because you can either cause this man to rise up or you can cause this man to fall down or you can cause
Facts.
this man to step away or you can cause this man to come to you more based off the
Yeah.
words that you speak out of your mouth. Y'all have women have a lot of power. Women have a lot of power pertaining to men. Like women have a, a lot of power. And they may not realize it, but you do. Like men listen. Like I listen to my wife. Like, you know, like Dejon listen to his wife, whatever like that, whether we always say it or not, like, you know, but we listen, you know,
Right.
and we love to be cheered on and to,
Yeah.
you know, be pushed forward than to
Right.
be, you know, pulled back and whatever like that. So it's
Right.
really important the words that you say to that man, definitely during that stage and things
Yeah.
like that. And then also, also with that, I want y'all to realize that this is a partnership. When you have a baby, that is a partnership, which means that you're not over him. Y'all have equal rights. Like they they're both of y'all's. This y'all baby. Not your baby. This is
Hmm.
your baby. You know, without him, you're not getting the baby. Like,
Right.
so don't be like, yeah, this my baby. I'm gonna take my baby over here. This my baby. Like, no, that's your baby. Like, you know, so don't just because the baby, you know, was formed in you and came out your, you know, womb does not mean that you you got more
I'm in
yeah,
control.
I get more I'm more control of this baby because you ain't birthed this baby out. You ain't deal with this baby for 9 months.
Right.
Like, you whatever like that. And it's like that's unfair. You know, like you still have to allow for there to be some equal responsibilities. Like, yeah, there's
Right.
certain things that you do and certain things that I do, but don't don't just take my sense of being a dad away. And men don't take the mother's sense of being a mom away. It has to be some type of partnership, even if y'all co-parenting and things like that. Like it has to be some type of equal type thing or whatever like that. You know, and then there are different circumstances, you know, depending on, you know, whether that person actually wants to be there. But I'm talking about someone who wants to be there. I'm not talking about just the anybody, you know. I'm talking about those who want to do what they're supposed to do, you know. So
Facts.
that's like really really important, you know,
Yeah.
when it comes to that kid.
Yeah. And then like it's I think one of the biggest issues for me is regarding this right now is that it set us as a church on fire. Like in terms of we against each other. Like there's no unity as it relates to these decisions. Like you got one half saying you got some people saying I'm pro life, no abortions. You got some people saying leave the abortion people alone, and then you got some saying, well, I'm not going one way or the other, which is just as bad as saying kill them all. So
Facts.
it's just really sad to see how God's people are scattered as a result of a decision like this that should be fundamental to our faith. Like to me, this is a fundamental aspect of our faith in terms of be fruitful and multiply. Like God said that early. It's
Facts.
one of the first
Established
things
that.
he said: be fruitful and multiply. And yet we just want to just destroy everything as if he never said it. Like it's baffling to me. Like, bro, we have to do a ton better, and this is not the way we get there. Like we have to we expect to draw people to Christ, or say gets people saved, or save souls, or help people change their lives around, when in reality we not exhibiting what it takes for that change to even take place. Our light look a little shadowy, and like, how you shine a light on something, you could a UV light on something, you can see all the crap. That's what it looked like. That's what a lot of us look like. Like the light
Yeah.
shine on us, and we just got a bunch of crap just on us, like old liquids and bodily fluids, all kind of crap on you. That's what we looking like. And it's
We
really
looking like
sad to me.
we looking
Like,
like babies when they first come out.
exactly, we look
Just
horrible.
just just the tie it all the way in. We looking like babies when you first see them when they got all that stuff on them. Remember I was looking at Genesis like, what hour what how long did she gotta wait before y'all get the stuff out her hair? Like, I'm just looking like
Say,
clean my baby up.
clean
Like,
me up, but that's the problem. That's the problem right there. We
come
don't want
on.
to be cleaned up.
Come on.
We want to remain dirty because it's comfortable. It's where you've been in. You've been in that. You've been in there. You've been a baby. You've been inside your mama belly for 9 months, and you want to stay there. Nope.
Yeah.
Fix yourself. Get fixed.
Yeah.
Allow God to cleanse your mind, because it's only at that point that we can truly begin to protect the next generation.
Yeah.
Because whether we believe it or not, the ones that are behind us are going to remember these weeks and months that we took out to be talking about this type of stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to remember it, and you as a parent, they're going to remember your stance too.
Yeah.
My mama was pro-abortion.
Yeah.
My mama was pro-life, so I'm gonna be pro-life too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be pro-abortion too. Like, we have to be cognizant of that type of stuff, because when we're not, we're setting the stage for worse things to happen.
Facts.
We're setting the
Opening the
stage for
door.
it. Yes, we're opening so many doors instead of, like you said, allowing that baby to come into, allowing these babies to come into the world and bring about some good change. And I'm not saying that every baby that's going to be born is going to be saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. That's what we want. That's what we
Facts.
desire. But it may not turn out that way. But for everyone, honestly, at this point, my concern is not necessarily the salvation of the kid. It's just that the kid is even born to begin with.
Facts.
Like,
And
forget Satan
that's
Center for a second. Let's just let the baby come into the world. They don't even have a chance to decide if they want to be a saint or a sinner, because y'all killing them before they can even talk, before they even open their eyes. They're dead. Like, it makes entirely no sense, and you think it's justifiable.
mm,
You justify it at every turn. Like, we justify it.
thou should not murder.
It's a life. You're killing somebody. By the time that egg is fertilized by that seed, it's a life. From the moment that egg is fertilized, it's a life. Why do you think they call it miscarriage? Because there's a life in there. You're carrying a life. When women are pregnant, they're carrying.
Yeah.
If it's a miscarriage, that means that life is expired. These are the type of things we have to think about as people before we just decide kill the babies,
Yeah.
destroy the next generation. There's already an agenda in place in the world that is going to make reproduction obsolete in the first place. What do you think the homosexual agenda is about?
Facts.
It's in direct rebuttal against be fruitful and multiply. I had a conversation with a guy a couple weeks ago, and he said he was pro homosexuality, pro LGBTQ community, and I'm like, he was like, it's natural. Even in the Bible days, it was natural. I said, well, if it's natural and it's something that God intended, how come two homosexual people can't reproduce? He was quiet for a long time, a long time. He
Yeah,
said, well, I don't know, but and then somebody came in the door. He was like, well, this is my opportunity to get out the conversation. You're darn right it is, because you don't have an answer for me,
yeah,
because that was not God's intention. But the world is making it seem like it is God's intention, and it's not. And homosexual relationships do not yield any fruit as it relates to children. So if
no,
that's already in the world, why would we help intensify that agenda by saying, let's kill the babies? No, we can't do that, man. We can't. Not for one. Not. I'm not. I can't stand for nothing like that. Can't
nah,
do it.
nah. We gotta stand up for what's right, and the word is right. At the end of the day, it ain't about what we think, ain't about that. It's about the word, and the word is in direct conflict with the world, what direct conflict with how the world thinks. So we gonna be in conflict with how the world thinks. So we don't really care if it rub you the wrong way. We just doing what God told us to do.
Period.
And it's our responsibility as men, as kingdom men, to stand up for what's right and to stand up for the
Facts.
babies. For the lives that can't protect themselves. We got to protect them.
Right.
We have to. So we hope that there was somebody listening who may have thought about it,
Yeah.
or maybe in
Has
the
been through
process,
it.
or
Yeah.
whatever like that. We want you to trust God. Get a relationship with God. God will cause your lenses to be clean. God will cause you to see things that you didn't see before.
Facts.
Just allow for life to come to pass. We have to protect this next generation. We
Facts.
are the only ones that can protect this next generation. It is up to us to do what we have to do. So just allow for the babies to live. Let's let
Yeah.
the babies live. Let's let the babies grow. I promise you, it is a wonderful experience. It is definitely a
Facts.
wonderful experience to watch a baby just develop.
Facts.
Like the baby starts developing in the womb, but once the baby comes out, the baby is also developing. Just how you're developing. So
Facts.
it's like
Crawling, walking,
watching
talking.
your little self. You know, like you like literally getting a different perspective. Oh, my mom had to do this. Oh,
Facts.
my dad have to do this. Oh, this is how they feel. Oh, whatever like that. And it's dope, so let's just, let the babies live. And we, like I said, we're not here to put you down, anything like that. We just want you to know how important it is to raise kids, how important
Facts.
life is, so you have anything else to leave off with? You got any other thoughts?
Just change your perspective on children. Don't continue to look at them as burdens. Don't continue to look at them to look at them as weights. Look at them as joy. Look at them as people that you have the privilege of influencing to become something great in this world. And also, you deserve, like, some people feel like they don't deserve to be parents. You deserve to be a parent. You deserve to have some type of influence on the next generation. You deserve to be able to love somebody and have them love you back. You deserve that. So don't rob yourself of that joy. Don't rob yourself of that opportunity. And honestly, I would love for everybody to be married and having their children, but honestly, it doesn't matter the circumstances of you having your child. You could still receive that same type of love. You could still give that same type of love. So just change your perspective on children, change your perspective on parenting. And that's it, man. That's
Yeah,
it.
because God blesses the kids, and He'll bless you if you do what's right with the
God
kids.
bless you.
So we just thank y'all for listening. We want y'all to like, share, comment. We need y'all to these views ain't how they need to be. So we need these views to go up. So we need y'all.
Oh man.
We need y'all to just Like, share, comment. Like, if you like
Subscribe.
it, share, subscribe, do what you got to do to help us, move forward, as we continue to do what we got to do to bring y'all great content, to bring y'all
You
what
there.
God is saying, to take our time out and really put our all in this. So we just thank y'all. That has been
Appreciate you.
episode 21 of the
21
Heart
KG episode.
and Hope Medicine Podcast. So, and we out of here, man. That's it. That's all I
Watch
gotta
this.
say.
Watch this.
Let the
Watch
babies
this.
live, man.